Hey, what's going on? I'm gonna do a video here about the top 5 bad bitches I had. I made a top 5 video on some other things before. I guess I'll take my time. I made a top 5 before. This is the same napkin I put in the microwave to cook the popcorn, so I hope there ain't no butter spots on them. But I did the top 5 before, and the reason I'm wiping is because I'm eating these beans and rice, and I put some cayenne pepper in there. Ooh, that shit get you sweating fast. So I made top 5 sexual encounters before, and I was like, I just didn't feel like I had enough. I've been with over 200 women. And I just feel like I had 5 for this, 5 that, and then I remember 5 more, then 5 more, then I remember 5 more. I think I did like a few of them, and then I was like, just over the couple years or the year that I did that, I was like, I feel like I just need to grab 5 more, just like out the air, just for the, you know what I'm saying? Just to like, keep it more real with myself and shit. I'm looking at myself in the mirror. So I was like, shit. So anyway, here's the top 5 baddest bitches I've been with. Okay, so in no particular order. I guess the order I can remember, man. The first one is my daughter's mom. My first daughter, her mom. And we met online. I think it was when they had AOL. And you put the CD in the computer, and and each CD you got, it was like you had a free trial. It was so funny. So I think I met her on some website or something. I'm not sure. Yep. And then we got each other's number, and we ended up getting on the phone. And this was in Houston. This is in Houston. And we had nothing in fucking common. I was like, it's like we spoke 2 different languages. I would be like saying jokes and she would laugh, and she would say things and I'd be like, oh, okay, and shit like that. So it was like no chemistry. We were just mad horny. So we talked, and then I went to go see her and stuff. We weren't too young, 21, 22, something like that. And I was at my grandma's house, and she had a car. And so I think I borrowed the car and went over there. Or I might have had my own car at the time. I might have had my own car. So anyway, I think I did. Yeah, I did. I had a Ford Explorer. I had a job and a car when we met. And I went over there to meet her, and we started talking and stuff. And at the time, before I met her, I told myself this in my head. I said, I want to get a girl for every day of the week. I want a different girl for every day of the week. I must have thought I was like, wow, manna. It's raining manna. So I was like, on Monday, I want black. On Tuesday, I want white. Wednesday, I want Mexican. Thursday, Indian. And Friday, Chinese. Because it was Houston. And I seen them. I seen all these girls in Houston. They have little communities of like Asian motherfuckers, communities of Indian motherfuckers. So I'm like, damn, I want one of every one. So anyway, so here's her mom, my first baby mama. I'm meeting her first. I go over there and see her. Just before I had no girls, I was just like, that was in my head. So we talk and then we meet. And so she gets in the truck. I had a SUV, yeah, a Ford Explorer. I hope this recording comes out good, because this motherfucker might be long as hell. Whew. So I had that. She gets in, I go say hi, this and that. Hey, this and that. She gets in. And then I think we go drive or we go get a burger or some shit. I forgot, so long ago. And I smoked a lot of pot between there and now. And, but I do remember this. When she got, I think it was my grandma's car. Now I can see. But I maybe got the job while I knew her. But anyway, this ain't got shit to do with why she's bad. But I guess it's worth saying why we met. Anyway, whatever the fuck car she gets out of, I see her go in, and she turns around for the first time, and like, I look at her butt, and I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, she got a nice enough size of butt, and then her hair was long and like Pocahontas style, like long, and her skin was like a little darker than mine. Yeah, she was like 5'5". She would get compliments all the time. Everywhere we went, motherfuckers would be like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? She look good. That's your girl, man. Damn, bro. You know what I'm saying? Y'all looking good, or whatever the fuck they would say. And so the moment that this is what I remember in my mind. The moment I'm making a point earlier. I don't know if I get that point. Oh yeah, hair, booty, skin, color, just decent sized breasts. It wasn't like crazy, and she wasn't like tall and slim or nothing, no model figure. She was like, you know, like 5'5", brown skin, Pocahontas in the hood type of girl. If she put some jeans on, it would be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So we go into like I said, this is Houston, and at the time, oh man, shouts out, thank you for Astro World and all that shit. We was in Astro World, and they had SeaWorld next to it, or SeaWorld, Sealand or SeaWorld, and we was in the wave pool, and I remember we bought the bathing suits before we went. We was a good couple at this time, and I had money. I didn't know it at the time, but I'm a pimp. That's how I get down. And so what pimps do, they just lavishly spend it all on a girl, you know, until she's just, that's how we get our girls and shit. We spoil them until we get what we want. Then, then we're done. But anyway, I was doing that with her. I bought her like flowers all the time, once a week at least, if not every day. I think it was like every day for a minute. Every time I came over, I always had roses. Roses got old. This is a common story for guys. So when you trying to swoon some girl. So anyway, we're at SeaWorld, and she has on like this green bathing suit or some shit, but she also has like on a white net, like a net top to cover it, to make it like a drab type of feel, where you can't just see her fucking body like banging, walking through SeaWorld with kids around and like, damn, look at this bad, damn, that ass. No stomach, you know what I'm saying? Hair fucking, it might have been in the braid. No, it wasn't. I fucking forgot, but yeah, beautiful. I still wasn't convinced at the time that she was a dime. You know what I'm saying? I was hard on her. I was like, she's a 9, you feel me? She's a 9, you feel me? But bathing suit, the net top, we go into the wave pool. We swimming and shit, flirting, hugging, then we go back and forth. She goes, we're apart at this, we go back apart at this time, and I'm coming back towards her. We're like maybe 5 yards away. Maybe about 7 yards from each other, about 5 or 6 yards. She goes down under the water like a movie, just like a fucking movie. She comes up out of the water, and she does her fucking hair she does her hair like that, and that shit goes back, and it's fucking wet, and the net, and the fucking beautiful body, and the water's like fucking right there on her. So you can see the stomach and the breast, and she was like, And I look at it, I'm like, I see her coming up out of the water, I'm like, I said, that's a dime. I said, I got a dime. My girl is a 10. I said, shit. And she just looked at me and smiled, and I was like, I didn't say it out loud. I was just like, whoa. I went over to her, probably kissed her. But at that point, I was like, shit, she's a dime. So anyway, that's the first one. The next one is, let me get a drink here. Or eat shit. Let me stop this bitch. Okay, I'm gonna do the next one, and the next one is the next one I can remember is and this is bad bitches that I've been with. Okay, it was in Houston. Lived in the neighborhood, and there was my street, and then my street house, the backyard, the other neighbor's backyard, they house, and then the other street. So my street, and then the next street over, but the houses were in the middle. We lived here, and the girl lived over there, like on the other part of the street. And she was the little sister to some dude that was, he was younger than me too, really, but you know what I'm saying? They was, I think he was younger than me, but anyway, they was around. If me and the dude hung out, it wouldn't have been weird, you know, but I think he was younger than me. But he was in a group that we didn't really, I wasn't really from the neighborhood like that. They grew up there. I grew up in Kentucky. I was born in Texas, and then I came back to Houston, but they went to high school and middle school all in that, while being in that neighborhood, you know, and I didn't, so I didn't know them, you know what I'm saying, really. So anyway, it was his sister, one of the dude's sister, and they was Mexican. Yo, okay, this is the bad bitches list, right? Shit. Okay. Fuck. I was at the park. No, she was at the park. Yeah, okay, so the crib here, you go, okay, the crib here, and you go down the street, and it's a park, and then you go through the park, and it's a store. So I walk to the crib, go to the store. You know, sometimes you get a cigarillo, you got some pot, you know what I'm saying? You want to get that and go to the store and come back and roll it up. Or sometimes you stay at the park, you go to the store, and then go to the park, and ain't nobody there, or it's people that know you or like you or whatever. You might smoke there, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So then, you know, get stoned and go back to the crib where, you know, that was cool about where we live in Houston. So, I was thinking about how bad this girl is. I hope I don't offend nobody if y'all know me or the girl. But anyway, one night, it was like twilight. It was like day and it would turn to night, you know what I'm saying? But it was night. It was new night, like 8:30 or something like that. And it was warm enough to where you could wear shorts. But anyway, because she had on some shorts. Went to the fucking store. I'm remembering that bit. Went to the store. Real nigga know how that shit is. Anyway, went to the store. Came back, going to the crib. And she and her, or I think I might have been on the bus or something. I might have got the bus coming into town, and then it lets out right by the store, and then I walked in because she was there. Because I was by the store, I think I did any fucking way. When I remember I was walking back, and I seen her and her friend. I think it was a dude. And they looked like they could be like boyfriend and girlfriend and shit. But I remember thinking that in my head, I was like, back in the day, I might have just not said shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm so real now to where I got to know, because that bitch is fine. I got to know. So like, I spoke to him and shit, and I think made conversation or something, and they was smoking. Do y'all smoke or whatever the fuck? And I went to the crib and I came back, I think, and then we smoked some more. I think I brought some weed and we all chilled and smoked, and I think that's when I got her number. And then we met back at the park another night, but it was like, I'll meet you at the park, and then it was like, basically come back to my crib, you know, because I'm gonna fuck you. If you like me and I like you, I'm gonna fuck you. Come back to the crib. That was the vibe, you know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyway. So we do that. We smoke. Come back to the crib, and I stay with my grandmother at the time. And I'm older. I'm older. I don't know if I went into the Navy yet or not. But I'm not like 19 or 20 or nothing like that. Like I'm not 40. I'm 40. I'll be 46. So I wasn't in my 40s, and I was still in Texas. I'm in Oregon now. So okay. You know, I meet her and shit, and man, this girl is Mexican. You know, so light skin, you know, and she was like 5'3", you know, like 5'3". She was like, thighs was popping out of them shorts, you feel me? She was not fat. She was not fat. You know, I ain't gonna say how old she was, but she was not fat. Thighs was jumping out them motherfucking shorts. When she met me that night to hang out, she, you know, you could tell she cleaned it, everything after being in the game now. Brought her back to the crib, brought her in my room. I had a little room in there, hit it, and then hit it. I think she ended up spending the night that night. She stayed, I think I fucked her for like a week, I was mad clingy, boy, at the time, because it was bad. Shit. I mean, you know, it might not have been the clinginess, but I'm pretty sure it was, because I just recently was with a girl, and I was like, well, if we're going to keep fucking, you know, we gotta square up, and you got to be with me. She was like, why can't we just be friends and fuck? I'm like, yuck, you know? You know, so I'm like, I'm pretty sure. But we never talked about no relationship or nothing. But I was missing that bitch when I couldn't have her. So, you know, we never fell out or nothing. It just, I don't think I was ready to like know a girl like that and just fuck her here and there, you know. Maybe if I would have been like rapping or something more, you know, if I would have been like on the go more, you know, she would have been perfect. I'd be like, hey, what's happening? Yeah, okay. Damn, let me write a song. I did write a song about that bitch. I so did. So yeah, the bad part about her, well, the good part, and she was a bad bee, because she was no stomach, thick thighs, and a booty. It wasn't crazy booty, but it was matching her thighs. She had that hood thing going on with like the little Jordans on and shit like that. She was fucking cute as fuck. Like, this bitch was, when you kiss this hoe, you feel lucky. You feel lucky. You feel me? This bitch was pretty. This bitch was beautiful. Like, she wasn't beautiful, but she was like fucking with that nice ass and that cute ass face like that, no stomach, and that hair, and with that fucking hood attitude. Kissing that bitch. Oh. And I'll share this real quick. But I remember I had a condom, and I was like, you know, I probably put it on. I think I did put it on, and I fucked her for a little bit, and then it was like, I was like, let me take this off, and then she was like, why does it make you feel like a bitch? And I'm pretty sure a dude told her that before. And she was like, why does it make you feel like a bitch? I was like, hell yeah, it makes me feel like a bitch. And then we laughed, tossed the condom, got right back in. Excuse me for being so candid, but I don't fucking know. So anyway, that was the second one, and like I said, she was just, maybe she was like 20. She was fine. She was cute as fuck. Cute. Boy, that bitch, the one you look at her and be like, and then she be like, that's the bitch be hard to get. And I was in that, I was fucking the shit. I fucked her all night. Man, I fucked her all night. Like, fell asleep, woke up, right back in that ass. Oh, anyway. Alright. What's the next one? Fuck, man. Okay, I don't want to say this next one, but I will. I already thought about saying this on shit. This bitch was in Texas, and she was young. She was like, I'll say she was 16. And I was like in my 20s. And at the time, I was fucking a bunch of girls. On the phone chat, they have these like, call this number and meet this girl, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, call, say, hi, my name is this, dude. Hey, my name, oh no, hey, my name is, oh yeah, dude. Hey, how you doing? You know, that shit. So I would, after doing that for a few minutes, I would end up with like phone numbers from the different people. I said, oh, what's your number? What's your number? Okay, let me call you. And you get one number. I've been in the game so long, I didn't want to just hang up. I'd be like, well, damn, I just got this. Let me use the time on it to get out a bunch of numbers. I was fucking a bunch of bitches. Like I said, I fucked over 200 girls. And if I fuck more than that or not, or is some under that, I'm going to say that from here until I die. And if you want to know me as a legacy, you can just say that that's the nigga that fucked over 200 girls. So, anyway, she was bad. Second girl, the first one was baby mama. The second one was the hood girl, the Hispanic girl. This one is the young girl. On the phone in Houston, on the phone chat, I was a security guard at the time. Yeah, I was a security guard. And so met her, hey, this and that, hey, what's up? Okay, yeah, I live over here. Okay, I live over here, this and that. All right. So I'm gonna come pick you up. Okay, you know, we go back to my crib and chill, and then I'll drop you back off whenever you gotta go. Okay, whatever. And I had I think I had that same SUV. Yep, I had that. Yeah, that same Ford Explorer. And so I go to her house, I park, get out, knock on the door. She answered the door. I walk in, and this is what I can remember. I look, she says, okay, I think it was all a setup for her mom to get to see me, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And this is who he is. He's not crazy looking, you know what I'm saying? He's sane. That's because she had fucked with he was 21. I remember talking to her on the phone about it. She had a boyfriend before, and her mom had let him spend the night. Like they had fucked and shit, and then I guess for whatever reason, her mom was letting him spend the night and fuck. You know, he was spending the night over there and fucking her, and she was like 15, you know. And so before that, so then I go over there, okay. I knock on the door, and like I said, I think this is a part of the crazy test to see if I'm okay, you know what I'm saying, if I'm normal. So she opens the door, and I come in, and her mama and her mama's boyfriend, her mama's a fat white lady, and her boyfriend's a skinny black dude, dark skinned dude. This motherfucker was sunk in the couch like this. And the bitch was like this, she was like, and the nigga was like, yeah, sunk down in the couch. Okay. So I come to the door, I see her, hey, what's up? She said, let me go get my jacket or whatever. So like I said, it's a setup. So she goes back into her room and gets her purse and a jacket or some shit. Cause on the phone things, it wasn't sending no pictures or nothing like that. Like when you see somebody, that's the first time you see them. You know what I'm saying? When you go meet them. And so that was one cool thing about the phone, is because you could really get to know someone like by hearing how they talk and stuff. And now with these dating apps and stuff, you just look at somebody and you don't want to talk to them, and that's one way. So I go in there, she goes in the back to get her thing, and then she comes back out with me, and she says, okay, Mom, I'm leaving, I'll see you. And then her mom looks at me and she says, okay, have her back before 10. She said, have her back by 10 or something like that. I was like, okay, I was like, bye. So we leave. We go to Blockbuster, get some, I rent some DVDs. Then we go in my neighborhood, because I'm going back to the crib, and in the neighborhood it's a Blockbuster. I go get that, then go back to the crib. We go in, I put the fucking DVDs on, we get in the bed, get, you know how it is, cozy. Then we start fucking around, and I remember peeling them yoga pants off. Man, she had on a thong. Oh my gosh. Anyway, beautiful fucking ass. Bubble butt, beautiful. Anyway, I just remember how old I said she was. So I'm not going to go into none of that. I'll let y'all use your imagination. Ooh, good Lord. Good Lord, good Lord. Okay. She had hair down about here. It was long and flowy. Like I said, yoga pants, like a high school bitch, you feel me? Top, tight. Her little titties right here with a little bra and shit. And then the pants was like yoga, and then the top was like right there, like to that, where you could, a little tight shit, and then the yoga pants and shit. And so, light makeup, kind of like that. Kind of like she was going to fuck, you know what I'm saying? And so we in the crib, I put the DVD on, she doing all that, and then we get done, and by 10, before 10, we get dressed and shit, and I take her back to the crib, to her house. And so the bad part about her was that, or the good part, fucking 38, 24, 38, like she had like the perfect figure. She had the perfect shape. She was like a Coke bottle, and the age part, and she was pretty. She was fucking pretty. She was pretty, but she was fucking fine. She was fine, and she was definitely fucking fine. She was bad. She was definitely fucking bad. Like, you could walk around the store with that bitch and motherfuckers be feeling like you a lucky motherfucker back. Or like, why is she with him, Yes, it's when you see them girls with them yoga pants on and no stomach and pretty. It's like, yeah, hell yeah, this was her. She was hella young. So anyway, that's 3. Is that 3? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm gonna pause this and then come back for the other 2. All right, let me finish up this series here. I was on number 3, now number 4, okay. Kentucky. I won't say her name. I was going to because it's a pretty name, but I won't say it. But working at a furniture store or a warehouse, and furniture store. Right when you go into the and if you know the girl or know me, like I said, no, I hope you don't take any offense, because there's no offense. I don't mean it in any way. I'm just telling my story for education, entertainment, for content, to influence. to help, just to help share my side of things. Maybe you can gain something. So, furniture store. So right when you walk into the store, she's like, typically they have like a pretty girl like this as a salesman, and then they have a dude that's kind of the opposite of what she is. Not opposite, but like the parallel male counterpart to what she is, like a chipper dude, you know. And she'll be like that, hey, you know, girl. So that's what she was. She was a female salesman. She was a female salesman. And so I was in the area. I was in the area, going to be in the area, you know, staying there. So I was like, okay, well, let me maybe look for work, you know. I'm color coding the store. So I was like, let me get a job. So hooked up with, asked around, put in apps in, and the furniture place called me back. I guess, if I remember it right. The homie actually worked there, and he was like, the homie through the homie's people worked there, and through that, I don't know if I got on through him or the app. I'm not sure, the application. But anyway, I get there. I'm interviewed and I get hired. I'm on, you know, I do move shit around in the back warehouse, and then do deliveries, blow the truck up and go deliver the shit that they sold all day, whatever. So this woman was right when you walk into the furniture part, right of the store. She's like the blonde. She's the tall, skinny blonde, right? With great boobs and, you know, not that big a butt, you know what I'm saying? And pretty, cute, pretty, blonde, tall, slim, small butt, big boobs. You know what I'm saying? Not huge boobs, but like nice boobs, you know? And to the point to where she was making it to where it was like, I have boobs, here they are, you know what I'm saying? So she had boobs, you know. It wasn't, she wasn't flat chested, but she didn't have big boobs. But she was the typical tall, blonde, slim, you know. She had a house, and it was a big ass house, and she was just a salesman, a saleswoman. And then it was like, okay, well, I think her family gave her the house because she had a kid, and they were like, you have to do something in work, you know, or something like that. So she started working there, and man, she had such a good vibe. She was, ooh, I love that vibe. That's that Kentucky shit, that country back road shit, where you pull up on a bitch and it's dark and it's like you can smell the grass and shit. And then y'all go into the house or somewhere and it's like, you know, it's like private. You know, it's like you're alone. That's cool, man. It's cool. But I remember a bunch of vibes like that with her. Yeah. So anyway, we at work and shit, hi, this and that. I think I forgot saying hi, what's your number, let's hang out, whatever. And I go to her crib and go in her bedroom. Her kids sleep in other rooms, stuff like that. And I think she's like looking for a dad type of figure, but I think I was, I really wasn't putting down the energy like that. But I was open to it, but I was more like, not a good fit, you know, I guess. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I remember she was going down and she was like, I was ready to hit it, and then she was like, why do guys always don't let me give them head for a long time, and y'all want to have sex fast? I'm like, cause you fine as fuck, you feel me? Like, motherfucker ready to fuck your fine ass. She was blonde, pretty, nice butt. You wanted to fuck her, you know what I'm saying? You just want to be fucking that bitch. And I guess she was a slave to her looks, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of dudes just want to hit that. She's the type of girl you naturally want to fuck. like in these times, like Instagram and shit like that, it would be crazy for her. She would be so popular. I probably wouldn't even got to fuck her, you know? Because I was just a motherfucker, you know? But, so yeah, she was 4. And then the 5th one, it was in Oregon. It was this crazy girl. And at the time, I was homeless. She was homeless. When I first seen her, I thought she was a different girl. That was my girl. That I was having a crush on and was seeing her here and there. And I seen her because they looked so much alike. I was like, are you? And then I went over there and I was like, you're a totally different girl. And I was like, okay, no. So she was bad. She was a Mexican girl, this girl I'm talking about. And if you know me or the girl, she was a Mexican girl. And she was slim. She was pregnant at the time, but she was still slim. You couldn't tell. Nice butt, and that's because she was pregnant. That butt was jiggling. I ignored her. She looked at me for a while, but I ignored her. Because I had the other girl on my mind. So she would look at me and I'd be like, you know. And then we was even in the same lunch area eating, and she was like, hey, what's going on? I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to talk to you, you know what I'm saying? After I fucked another girl and let the girl I was thinking about go, and I think she fucked around with some other dudes, I let the other girl go, and I was back fucking again. So I seen her out again, and I was like, okay, because I was that type of guy. I was like, okay, I'm fucking all y'all, so I'm gonna fuck you now. You know, I was like that. And then they wanted the dick anyway. It was like, oh, it's my turn, all right, you know, because bitch, it was the last bitch's turn when I met you, so I ignored you for a month. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, nothing stopped me when it came to like, if I was turned on by a girl and she was turned on, it was like, I just felt like we was gonna fuck, you know what I'm saying? And so I just went after her. She made herself available, shit like that. I'm not like that now, you know what I'm saying, so much, but then it was kind of like I was one of the only guys around town, you know, that was fucking the girls, and they was wanting dick, and okay, I'm ready now, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna fuck you now, you know. And so we ended up talking. I picked her. I seen her sitting by herself, and by this time I had like dissed her ass so many times. I like walked past her so many times that she didn't even look up when I was around no more. She was like, he gonna look away. But at this time, I was like, I fucked another girl. I was over the other girl, and I was like free. And I seen her sitting there, and I was like, and then I think the next day I seen her sitting there another place, and then this time I went up to her, and I just sat there, and she was like, what the fuck's he doing talking to me? You know what I'm saying? And so I just sat there and was like, I think I pulled some weed out and was like, you smoking? She was like, not right now, this and that, and then that was it. That's how it is in the street. You just pick bitches up, just start hanging with them, and you end up taking them back to where you are, or they say, let's go here, or whatever. So anyway, we was doing that, and I remember the thing about her, the reason why her, she was bad because model figure. I was gonna mention this other girl in Houston. Her name's Egypt, and they have the same figure. She was a Bud Light model. 5'4", you know, medium boobs, you know what I'm saying, no stomach, ass, you know what I'm saying, petite, and yeah, she was bad in some X-rated ways too, but petite. that ain't what made her bad, the sex part, but she was, her attitude is what made her a bad bitch, because she was she was a hustler, you know. She would run the streets with you, you know. She was tough. She knew how to get respect from dudes and girls, you know. And she was just a top bitch. After I fucked her, especially, she was a top bitch. I think she went to jail. We was sitting down together, and the cops rolled up on us, and it was like, "Run it, y'all's ID." And I was clean, but she wasn't. And then they took her to jail. But yeah, she was bad because she was Mexican, dark hair, long. She just had that street attitude, you know. She did drugs though that I didn't do them hard drugs that she did. And it was funny. I was gonna say this. I remember about her because people knew me in the street, you know, but they knew I didn't do drugs, you know, like hard drugs. So she was hanging out with this other guy, and they did drugs. They did that certain type, you know, kind together. But she liked me, you feel me? Like, she liked how I looked and all that. But that was her, like, dope buddy, right? So they end up fucking them two, right? And then I'm fucking her still. And he can't keep her, you feel me? She keeps coming back to me and like spending the night for weeks and shit. And then she's trying to, like, I remember she would try to I remember she was a little younger than I was, but we were hanging out with the dude there too. It was me, her, and it was that dude, and we were in front of a store or something like that. And he was like, "Hey, what's up? Let me get in them drawers again." She was like, "Don't talk to me like that when he's here." And that was just so funny because she was giving it all to me, you know what I'm saying? And that was just cool. That was cool. And like, they was doing drugs and fucking, you know, and he was supposedly, you know, a big man in the bed or whatever, but, you know, it was like, she was like, you know what I'm saying, "I gave you some ass, you know, you're my dope buddy, but this nigga likes me, you know, and I like this motherfucker first, you know what I'm saying? So we gonna stay fucking, you know what I'm saying?" It was just funny like that. Okay, that's my 5. I'm gonna edit the video and put it all together and post it, man, and watch that shit again. But hopefully this helps somebody. There were a lot of girls, like I said, I've been with a bunch of girls, but there were a lot that didn't make the list because they just didn't have it all together, you know. They might have had a nice body or a nice face and not a nice body. You know, but I fucked up a lot of girls with big asses, you know what I'm saying? That's what I went after, kind of asses and titties and freaks, you know what I'm saying? Kind of. And if they was fine or not, you know what I'm saying, that was cool and shit, you know, and a lot of them end up being, but I had to really kind of dig for these 5, you know what I'm saying, that was like bad, you know. There was one girl I wanted to put in there, you know, she looked like exactly like Beyonce, but when she opened her mouth, she looked like me. She was missing this, she was missing all this shit, you feel me? She was like, her mouth was missing some teeth. But I remember she answered the door. That bitch was like, I thought I was getting punked. I thought I was like getting pranked. You know what I'm saying? I'm dead serious to the camera, you know. That's my first thought I had. Was like, this is Beyonce, obviously. Everybody knows what Beyonce looks like, you feel me? And I was like, where's the fucking camera, you know? And I looked around, and then she opened her mouth, and I seen she was missing teeth, and I was like, this can't be Beyonce then. You feel me? This can't be her. So it might have been, man. Y'all motherfucking mind playing tricks on me now. I brought some beer over there and a little bit of weed. We drank the beer, smoked the weed, and fucked. And I wasn't even that turned on. I wasn't that hard, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't that tough in the bed, but I put it in, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. What was it? It was some other ones. It was some other ones on there. It was some more petite. It was a bunch of petite ones on there, but they wasn't really that. It was one was cute and petite, but her pussy wasn't that good, so I didn't put her in there. So you know what I'm saying? It was a bunch that didn't make it, but the 5 that I told y'all about, they had everything. They had fucking everything. They had the looks, the body, the attitude. And the last girl, the street girl, was saying she had a badass body. She was good in the bed, everything. She wasn't pretty. And that's why I almost didn't, like I said, I had to reach. But I said, I'll say she's bad because she was pretty. She was cute. She was pretty. She was cute. But she wasn't pretty. She was cute though. All the other bitches was pretty. Like if they take a picture, it's on. But this bitch, the last one, she had a bad attitude. She was fine, but if she took a picture, she could look nice if she tried, but I don't fucking know. I don't really know now that I think about it. Like I said, I was hard on my baby mama first, and it took her to go down in the water for me to see she was a dime. So trust me, these 5 were certified bad. So that's my top 5. If you got something to match, what's up? Holler back. All right, more later from the Pimp Star 420. This is Don Joey.